12 most common traits of cheaters. Number 12. Narcissism. Most of the time, cheaters are narcissists, or at least share a lot of qualities with them. They are greedy and selfish and often only think about themselves. A narcissist usually feels that they are entitled and will do whatever they have to do to feed that narcissistic supply. This is generally used in a negative way, describing a pathological or excessive need for attention and admiration that doesn't take into account the feelings or opinions of other people. Narcissists are self-absorbed, just care about themselves, and lack empathy, which is what makes it possible for them to cheat and have affairs without feeling guilty. Narcissism is a disorder fueled by an inflated sense of self-importance. This makes it easy to see how this would play into the notion of cheating. People who suffer from narcissistic tendencies or the disorder itself have a severe lack of empathy and think very highly of themselves. This means that while most of us consider other people's feelings, the narcissist will often neglect emotions and just care about their own feelings. While other people might refrain from cheating because they don't want to feel guilty or hurt their partner, a narcissist is too busy thinking of the reasons why they should cheat instead of why they shouldn't. Many people avoid cheating mainly because of the guilt they would feel, but a narcissist doesn't really experience that guilty feeling. Number 11. Overly flirtatious. A sign you're dating a cheater is that they are excessively flirtatious. Not all flirts are cheaters, some people are just naturally flirty or like the attention, but most cheaters will probably display overly flirtatious behavior at some point. This is mostly because of internal issues that the person has, like jealousy, insecurity, or the need for attention. Flirting with someone other than your significant other gives them some validation within their relationship. Most cheaters tend to tease right in front of their partners while playing it off as just harmless fun. Most of the time, people who do such things while in a relationship also have sociopathic or narcissistic behaviors and don't take their partner's feelings into consideration. They might say their flirting is harmless, but what they're doing is hiding their cheating tendencies right in plain sight without even realizing it sometimes. If you accept your partner's flirtatious behavior, to them it's like giving them consent and letting them know it's okay. So just be cautious not to expect their behavior to improve when you're not around. Most likely it will be much worse. Number 10. They're insecure. Many cheaters have become the way they are because they're insecure about themselves. It's often due to lifelong emotional scars from their past relationships that they can't help but spread to their partners. So despite the fact that their partner is attractive, their insecurities might cause them to act out just because they feel they don't deserve you and fear that their partner will eventually leave them anyway. They fear of being lonely or abandoned and tend to accept attention from people outside of their relationship. It might seem like those with insecurity issues would work even harder to keep their relationships. Often, they carry on the outside relationships to fill the void and make sure they never feel alone. Number 9. Highly deceptive. Obviously, many cheaters have problems with telling the truth. They are most likely to possess sociopath and narcissistic traits to make it so much easier for them to cheat on their spouse without feeling ashamed or guilty. This is a huge advantage for serial cheaters because while the average person might feel bad after cheating, a cheater can cheat on someone and look them in the eye like nothing ever happened. Being numb to shameful feelings is what makes it easy for someone to cheat on a regular basis. If you're unsure whether your partner has these traits, a good way to figure it out often depends on how often you catch them lying to other people and if they seem guilty about it. If you don't, then it's likely that they don't feel bad about deceiving you either. Number 8. They are excessively needy. Cheaters are extremely needy. They might want your time, money, energy, attention, and affection, or more than one of those. Their insecure nature makes them act out to receive attention. For example, some cheaters who have insecurity issues might exaggerate an illness in order to get you to take care of them, or want you to buy them something to prove that you truly love them. The sad part is, no matter how much you do for somebody, they will never be fully satisfied. And once you find out they cheated on you, they will blame you for not doing enough for them and move on to the next one. The problem with these types of people is that they seek validation through the eyes of others and like to be praised by others. So when you are not validating their existence, they start to feel unimportant and will usually seek out validation from others other than the person they're dating. This doesn't mean they're going to cheat on you because you didn't compliment their new haircut, but if someone else happens to do it, they might feel attracted to that person for noticing something you failed to notice or mention. Number 7. They're highly attractive. Being physically attractive is one of the top ways cheaters keep a stream of victims. Whether most people will admit it or not, most of us are most likely to look the other way or forgive a cheater if you're too busy drooling over them to be upset. Studies have shown us that women in particular are more likely to cheat based on the element of attraction. Up to 44% of women actually said this as being their reason for infidelity. This doesn't mean it's okay or acceptable to cheat on someone, but the world's most valued cheaters are usually highly attractive, and with the terrible feelings that are associated with cheating, just being able to be with someone so beautiful is enough to make most people take the risk. Number 6. Thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies. Another common trait that is found in people who cheat are thrill-seeking behaviors. Of course, there's plenty of people out there who enjoy extreme activities and getting a dose of adrenaline while staying committed to their partners. But the thrill-seeking tendencies are associated with the traits of recklessness, in that people who seek thrills enjoy being in dangerous situations. So pretending to be in a committed relationship while secretly getting with other people might be their normal pattern instead of a one-time thing. If this is the case, the person will most likely get caught up in situations and pretend not to care or try to change, but in reality, they are just playing a game that involves cheating and getting caught and trying to make up for it. If the person you're dating is often caught up in hypothetical situations, they are most likely doing it on purpose, and they take out the time to participate by getting upset and forgiving them. You are giving them what they want, and they'll think they can continue that behavior. Number 5. Questionable morals. People who are serial cheaters often tend to have a questionable moral compass. The definition of cheating means deceiving one or both of your love interests, solely just for pleasing yourself. Not all cheaters engage in reckless behavior. A lot of them tend to also enjoy some kind of negativity in their lives in general. For example, a closet cheater, which usually is somewhat of a decent person, might talk bad and talk trash about others. They might pretend to hate drama, yet you'll notice they refuse to dissociate themselves from the source of the drama, like they get some pleasure out of it. So you might see they are numb to empathy and remorse when consequences happen for others. Number 4. Addictive personality. A very common trait amongst people who cheat have highly addictive personalities. This can be for a number of different reasons. People who have addictive personalities in general are prone to becoming hooked on intimacy and the intense feelings that go along with it. It can be similar to some kind of high. Therefore, no matter how much they're getting from their partners, they will always go out looking for more because they are never satisfied. On the other hand, using narcotics or alcohol on a regular basis also lowers our inhibitions, which make a lot of people more likely to cheat. That's why the club scene is notorious for being the hookup central to find all kinds of romantic outlets, even when you shouldn't be looking. Long story short, if your partner is always going out and getting drunk, there's a good chance that they're going to use that time to cheat and attempt to blame it on the alcohol. Number 3. Opportunistic. Being highly opportunistic means while most people enter relationships with the intention of finding their soulmate, the opportunistic cheater enters a relationship based on what that person can do for them at the time and what they can benefit from them. This type of person will make you feel vital to their life when they're getting what they want from you, but once they no longer need you or come across something better, they'll simply leave you in the dust. You might be taking great care of your partner and treating them like gold, and they may still cheat on you with someone who has more money or more to give them. They'll know when they can get away with cheating. For example, an opportunistic cheater might use a death of a family member or loss of a job to step outside of the relationship. Number 2. They're secretly miserable. To make it simple, most people who cheat are miserable, and they don't let it be known, but they're not truly happy. They're either unhappy with themselves and their life, or their relationship, or both. A big thing is the insecurity issue. They never feel good enough or attractive enough and always worry if their partner is going to come across someone better. This takes a toll on you after a while. If they're not happy, they'll find someone else who makes them feel worthy instead of working on their own issues. It can be something as little as someone smiling at them or making small talk. The person might get lucky simply because they felt inadequate at the time. Instead of taking time to themselves and working on their problems, they blame their partner for not meeting their needs, and they usually turn to cheating as a result. Number 1. Their biggest fear is being alone. Lastly, one of the most common traits of cheaters is the fear of being alone above all other things. You might think that cheaters would be faithful and make a point to be on their best behavior to maintain their relationships, but unfortunately it's just the opposite. Instead of trying their best to be true, they often jump right into infidelity because they think the relationship isn't going to last anyway, and want someone else lined up and ready to take their place when it ends. Another reason this happens a lot is because they like to have someone to confide in and comfort them when their relationship gets rocky. All of these issues are within the person themselves, and they have some deep-rooted issues only they can fix. So rather than putting their all into a person, they start a pattern of spreading themselves too thin to ensure they are never left alone for long. The irony is, this is the exact reason why their lovers end up leaving them alone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.